Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Adam. Thanks for hanging out with me again today. So I'm recording this because I don't know if I did an intro for this. If I did, you won't see this. If I didn't, well, here we are. This is the buildup of this Bruiser clone. So this is the HG P047A, or sorry, P407A. It's a Bruiser clone. And it's a very, very, very close Bruiser clone. That said, there are some things that, aren't quite up to Tamiya standards. Anyway, we're going to go ahead, get the thing built. Now, I've already got it built, so I know what it looks like. But we're going to get it built. There's going to be some changes done to it. And those changes are basically taking the clear window out, putting in the smoked window. The reason for doing that is because I did not want to put the little bed extender on it. So I had to order the Tamiya Hilux High Lift window glass set, which is the rear window and the front and side window pieces, but they're smoked. So there's really no point in putting the smoked rear window in and putting the clear window in the front, so I just put the smoked windows in. Unfortunately, that kind of rendered the interior pretty much pointless, which is fine. I did do some painting in there, painted the steering column, steering wheel, floorboards, all black and chrome for the steering wheel. But the rest of it, I just left the same because basically once I stuck it in there, I was like, okay, you can see that there's an interior in there, but you've got to look at it to see that there's an interior in it. But we'll go through the build. Basically, the chassis is the main part of the photo montage. I really didn't take much of the body just because that was broken up over several days between doing things, painting things, waiting things dry, all that mess. So kind of neglected taking pictures of that. But you'll see the finished results here in a minute. Well, here is the finished results. On the surface, it doesn't look like I've done much to it other than put some stickers and paint a few things. But I will tell you, this was a lot of work. Basically, the whole body was painted with the Tamiya Pearl White. So out in the sun, you can see the pearlescent. In here, it looks white. On camera, I doubt you'll ever notice the pearl in it, but it does have a nice little bit of pearl in it. And I did mask off the bed and basically painted it all black as, an old school drop-in bed liner would have been back in the 80s. So you do have the white rails all the way around. This is also from the high lift Toyota. It's the roll bar set for it, and I did alternating light covers on here. Something that, you know, people were always trying to do something a little bit different to set their truck off back in the day. Painted the front bumper, rear bumper, and the Nerf bars. I had to strip the chrome off the Nerf bars. Super easy to do. Some purple power, whatever your powerful degreaser is you have on hand. Stick it in there for an hour or two, and it will strip that chrome right off of there. The chrome is really, really thin on these parts, so it did not take very long to strip off. Once I stripped them off, they came out the same color as the interior, so they were like an orangish, rusty color. And these were molded, the front and rears were molded in white. So there is a subtle difference between this pink, these pinks, and this pink. The windshield wipers were all just rattle can spray pink with pearl clear over top of it. Again, you guys are never going to see the pearl. It's barely visible here, but it is there. It has a little bit of sparkle. I tried getting something close to the decals, but the decals are like bright fluorescent pink, and these are more of a subtle, you know, hot pink, but it's close as I could get. Once I got the truck built, I did paint in the little black plastic squares that were standard on those cabs, and then also the 3 screws. This one's holding the cab together, these 2 are holding the Nerf bar on, and then also this one up here that's holding the front grille to the front end. Went ahead and painted those white. There should be no reason to ever take them off, so I figured painting them white wouldn't be a terrible idea. It helps blend it in a little bit. The graphics on here are MCI Reproduction Auto Graphics decals, and they look absolutely perfect for this. Kind of has that show truck style flair. So I just got the pink and blue on the back, the squiggles on the side, squiggles down the roof or across the hood, and then running the sticker up around the roof. Overall, everything came out really, really nice. There is one giant whoops in here, and thankfully with the roll bar on here, you don't notice it. But I'm sure somebody with eagle eyes is going to pick it up into pictures, so I'm going to address it now. Basically, what happened is I put the rear glass slides in, and there's no screws or anything to hold it in. Basically, the window and the interior kind of hold it in place. But I put some of the E6000 glue around it, left it to sit for quite a while, about an hour or so. Figured that was good and tacky, it wasn't going to move, and I went to put the windshield in and the interior in, and all that was fine. So basically the interior bolts with these, there's little black screws in here. The interior and the bed and all that stuff gets screwed through there together, so it's all clamped together. When that happened, evidently the interior pushed on there's little tabs on the bottom of those windows. Evidently it pushed down on this side, which physically pulled the window down. So there's a little gap up here, and I don't know if you guys will be able to see it or not. I'll try to zoom in on it. But anyway, there's a gap in the body line where the window piece meets the top of the cab. Normally it wouldn't be a big deal, but basically all the way around that window you have to paint it the body color because it's part of the body. Anyway, there's a gap there. I didn't notice it until after that E6000 was completely dry. Everything was put together, and I went to put the decal on up here, and I wrapped it around the back, and I'm like, well, crap. It is what it is. You know, they're never ever perfect, and that is its major glaring flaw. Overall, let's talk about the truck. The build was fine. Since everything is in sub-assemblies, it was not terribly difficult to build. Finding the right screws is kind of my own fault. Every bag was labeled with whatever part number they were, and yeah, I went ahead and ripped them all out of the bags, set them in the tray, matched them up to the sizes, and then I have to match them to the drawing on the thing. So my suggestion if you're building one of these, go down to your dollar store, if they're still available, and buy an ice tray. Just a generic plastic ice tray, and then with a Sharpie, write in the number of the hardware bag and dump your hardware into the individual 12 little things. That'll help you keep sorted of exactly what screw is which, because some of them are very, very similar. It's really, really hard to tell by the scale size in the drawing versus the screw you have in your hand. Another thing was, I was glad I have a lot of extra Tamiya hardware, because changing like the roll bar from the other thing, and there was a few other places where I didn't like the way they were doing it, so I changed the hardware. Like on the front end where the body and the grill come together. So they just had a generic machine screw going through and a very generic nut on the back. Those are going to rattle and fall off, you know, after you're driving it 30-40 minutes. So I put I dug into my Tamiya stash and got some of the serrated backed flange nuts and put them on there. They're a little bit bigger, but it's underneath the body. You don't see it, and those flange nuts dig into the plastic, so it's not going to rattle apart. So I did change a few things along the way, but otherwise everything was built, pre-built fine. I did open up the axles. They were properly greased. I did open up transmission. I did add some more grease to the transmission. There was some in there, not a lot. And I'm sure it's going to slow the truck down just a little bit when I first start running it. There's a lot more I could have done with it. I should have had the forethought to sand down these trailing arms and paint those pink as well. I did try to find some pink shock boot material. I couldn't find any that were the right size. I did find some pink shock boots, but they were for like the big Traxxas shocks or like big Arma shocks, and they were just way too big of a diameter to put on here. These are like, you know, pencil sized shocks, where, you know, the Arma shocks are as big as your thumb. So wasn't going to quite do it. I probably could have slid them and glued them together, but again, this isn't, I'm not trying to take this and win best of show anywhere. This was just a fun build for me to enjoy. Trying to think of anything else to cover. We're not going to run this one in this video. This is just the build. I am going to try to get out with it and run it tomorrow when this video is out, and get some run footage, hopefully get that edited for Sunday. But if not, it'll probably be the Wednesday video. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the look and kind of feedback on the clone kit. It's not a bad kit. It's not a great kit, but considering the price you can get the clone for versus the price you can pay to get a Bruiser for, it's a great kit. Fun to build, you know, not terribly involved, and you can paint it up and do whatever you want. Now, I will say on the paint, the RC Elf got one of the ready-to-run trucks. He got the white one, just like I got in this kit, and he pulled the body apart, tore it all pound, and went to paint the body. I believe it was the cab, painted fine. The bed, the paint did not want to stick to. Basically, he was like putting decals on, and the paint was peeling off. He said he washed it. He did everything else he would normally do to a Tamiya body. He was using Tamiya paints, and it just peeled right off. So he doesn't know what happened to that one. So he ended up buying the Hilux body set for it. He probably has as much money in the body set at this point as he does into the whole ready to run, but that's neither here nor there. But just a fair warning, my kit was fine. So I did take some precautionary measures. I've got these Tamiya 1000 grit wet dry sanding sponges. These things are great for hard bodies, for paint prep, paint correction, sanding out fuzzies and everything. The sponge keeps it to where you don't like bury your finger in there and leave a strip. Kind of disperses the weight out and spreads it around. But what I did is I just took the body out, wet sanded everything the best I could, the whole body, tailgate, grill area, all that stuff, and I just wiped it off, dried it off, and took it out there and sprayed it. The paint is sticking fine. I didn't have any problems with paint wanting to flake, scratch, peel, chip, anything. So yeah, I don't know what went wrong with his. I don't know whether it's the ready to runs they don't put as nice of plastics on versus the kits that people are probably going to paint. I don't know, but just a fair warning, you know, you may have to do some extra work to make sure paint sticks to the plastic. Anyway, guys, that's it for me today. I'm going to take this thing outside, get some pictures for you guys, enjoy the photo montage, and as always, everybody out there, be happy, be healthy, be safe, and I will catch you on the next one. See you.